Hey, what's up everyone, it's your girl Brian Shanae, and today I'll be sharing with you a book review of Yinka, Where's Your Husband by Lizzie, Damilola, Blackburn. So, like I said before, I'm going to be doing a book review for Yinka, Where's Your Husband? This book is a Book of the Month edition. This is one of the picks that I chose for Book of the Month for January. So I read this book. I loved it. I have no complaints about it. I love the storyline. I loved Yinka, the characters, her family. I love this story so much. It sort of reminds me of The Diary of Bridget Jones. Like, I'm sure I haven't read the books, but I've seen all the movies. So it's sort of similar to that in a sense. But this book is following the main character named Yinka, who is British Nigerian. And her family, or excuse me, mostly her mom, is pressuring Yinka and asking her, where's her husband? Why isn't she married yet? Why doesn't she have any children yet? But Yinka is fully focused on work and her career, but things don't turn out the way that she wants them to. And so as she has this career and she convinces her mother that she's just not a banker, she deals with operations, so it's a lot more than that. Her mom is still not convinced. Her mom is more focused on her finding a husband and settling down and having children. And so, you know, one day Yinka goes to work on a regular day. Then all of a sudden she finds out that she's no longer employed. So Yinka doesn't know what to do because she has this great career that she's been telling her family about, including her mother, just to get her off her back. But things just didn't go so well. So instead of telling her mom that, you know, what really happened and how she was let go, she told her mom that she got, a promotion. She was going up in the ranks pretty much in her job. And her mom was so happy. She was so excited for her, even though, you know, she was so driven on her having a husband, but she was happy that she was stepping up in her career. So Yinka was really just, you know, she was thinking of this lie to impress her mom, just to get her off her case, right? But it just doesn't go the way she plans, like I said, and she keeps lying to everybody, including her family, about this big promotion. And only her best friend finds out, which that's another thing where her best friend asked Yinka if she could move in. And of course Yinka was like, okay, well, you know, we have to make agreements on stuff if you do move in with me, as far as, having, keeping the place clean your dishes, stuff like that. So Yinka was like, okay, all right, since we have this agreement, you can go ahead and move in with me. And her best friend's name is Nana. So Yinka is like, okay, I'm gonna have to do something. I need to hurry up and find a job. So she's going to all these interviews, and she goes to pretty much the competitor of the another bank where she used to work for. So she's applying for the competitor. And as she is doing this, and she tells her family about her big promotion and whatnot, as she's looking for another job, her sister gets engaged. So Yinka is even more pressured because now that she is, a bridesmaid, she needs a date to the wedding, right? So she's like, okay, I need a wedding date. So she's on the mission of finding a wedding date, and then she gets introduced to this guy named Alex. And she really not loves him, but likes him a lot. She finds him sexy as hell. Like she just thinks he's it, right? But on the inside, like, her family and friends were giving her a warning that he's a player and, that's what he's known for, but she's giving him the benefit of the doubt. So as she is planning on, having these, starting to have little dates with him or whatever, she decided, like, okay, maybe I will cook him dinner at my place, even though she cannot cook food. And on top of that, his favorite food is Nigerian food, which she doesn't know how to do that as well. And her mom was pressuring her about that and saying, like, if you're going to be a wife, especially a Nigerian wife, you need to learn how to cook. You need to learn how to cook our food, our meals. But instead of her cooking the meal for the dinner, she asked, like, her family and her best friend to cook them dinner, and so that she could pretend that she's the one that cooked it in the first place. So they have this dinner. Next thing you know, a bomb just drops on Yinka. And after all this stuff that she has done for Alex, as far as preparing herself, like she was altering herself to have Alex see her, like be impressed with her looks and appearances. Like she was going crazy. Because she's all natural, but then she decided, like, okay, maybe he'll like a weave. So like, she puts a weave in her hair, even though her mom just like, why you got that in your hair? Your hair is already, why you doing that? And then on top of that, she buys skin lightening cream. And a lot of us know about the skin lightening cream and all that, and how pretty much colorism plays a role in this book. And so she's doing all this stuff to alter the way she looks in order to impress Alex. But that, when I say that bomb dropped on her, it dropped on her hard when Alex pretty much said he really wanted her to get close to Yinka so that he could get close to Yinka's best friend, Nana. Yes, he pretty much said he really is impressed with Nana, and that's why he's pretty much trying to get close to Yinka to get close to Nana. So Yinka was just caught right off guard. She didn't know what to say, how to act. She was just so disappointed because she thought that Alex was going to be her wedding date. So on top of being unemployed or being fired, she now has no date, and the guy that she really actually started to like is not interested in her. So she's thinking it's her, and she's still trying to alter herself. She's trying to figure out what's wrong with her. And then as she's doing this, she's losing herself, and then her family starts to notice how she's not herself, and how she's acting strangely, and how she's acting mean towards them, and so they don't want to have anything to do with Yinka. And so with all this, with this book, Yinka at the very end, she does end up meeting someone at her sister's wedding, which is in July. So literally her sister's wedding was planned, and they had 6 months to get it planned. That's how fast it was. And usually with a wedding, it takes a lot longer than 6 months, but they made it happen. So she did end up meeting someone, and his name was Donovan. And so we have that. But throughout this book, she's processing things of what she wants to do with her life. And she did come out clean and say that she did lie about this and this and this, and what really happened as far as her getting fired and all that. And her family, I think they started to get it. Her mom, I think she sort of acknowledged it, but didn't really, because she still wanted her to settle down and have a family. So, mothers they're always going to try to pressure you to do this and do that. And moms will do that regardless if it's for a husband or a job or whatever. It's just moms in general. That's like their job to do that to us, even though I think they don't mean to, but it's just what they do. And so as Yinka was losing herself, she didn't find herself worthy because of how she looked and how men would look at her, as opposed to someone that was more light-skinned, more light-complected than her. And the only person that considered her beautiful and that would tell her that she's beautiful on a regular basis was her father. But her father died from prostate cancer, so she lost him. She didn't have anybody to rejuvenate how she felt, to give her confidence of who she is and what she looks like, and saying that you are beautiful on the inside as well as the outside. And she needed that. And I think when she met Donovan at her sister's wedding, I think she started to get her confidence back and say that she is beautiful. Her hair is beautiful. She does not need to do anything to find a man because she is beautiful the way she is. And like I said, it deals with a lot of colorism. I think a lot of us still struggle with that. I mean, and that's a big topic that, one day we'll have that big discussion about. It's a huge thing, a huge controversial thing, especially in the Black community when it comes to colorism. And with this book, I think it tackles a great deal of it, because Yinka was so devastated of, maybe it's how she looked, but it was never the case. I think she had to be comfortable in her own skin and have confidence that her dad was giving her, right? And she needed to, and so she didn't have nobody pretty much in her corner to keep her to keep her confident about herself. But she found herself, which I love this book so much. And I loved Yinka because she did realize, like, she is enough. She is worthy. She's beautiful. She's Black and beautiful. I loved how she found herself at the end of this book. And then on top of that, she found what she wanted to do as far as a career. Because remember, I said she was unemployed. She was fired from her job. But then she realized she liked helping people. And so she started to work for a charity organization. And so with Lizzie, the author, and how I said this is more like a Bridget Jones type of thing, like it actually, it sort of is. But then when I was reading the acknowledgments in the end of the book, Lizzie, the author, did say that she was mostly inspired by Issa Rae from the Insecure series. And I thought that was her inspiration. And then also her inspiration was Girlfriends. And then I also believe, I'm trying to think of the other one. So it was Insecure, Girlfriends, and also I'm trying to think of being Mary Jane was also inspiration of when she wrote this book. Which I love that, because in Insecure, you deal with colorism, you deal with confidence, finding yourself. Girlfriends, you do the same thing. Being Mary Jane, you also deal with that. So Lizzie has done a great job with this book. I love this book. I believe I gave it, I think, a 4 out of 5 stars. I don't remember. It's on my Goodreads. But I love this book to the T. There's nothing wrong with it. I loved it. I don't have no complaints about it. I love the fact that she was finding herself. And I know how it feels when you're being pressured, you know, when it comes to anything, even if it's not even for a husband. Because my mom, to this day, she doesn't pressure me as much. But she used to be on my case like all the time about, you know, once I graduated and got my bachelor's degree, I should go ahead and get my certification to be a history teacher. Now, when I was a little kid, I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to be a teacher. I want to be a teacher. But things change. Plans change, right? I didn't schedule or plan my life out like that. I just couldn't do that. After being in college and wanting and learning more about myself, you know, as a woman and as a person and as a Black woman. And then she also like, well, if you don't want to be a teacher, then you go ahead and go to law school. And that was not my dream either. Throughout when I was growing up, I never was taught about being your own boss, having your own business, creating a lane for yourself. It was never that. It was trying to get a good job and to get a good paying job. And for me, like, oh, that sounds good, but it's not my path. It's not how I want to live my life. I really feel like I want to be self-made, where I want to create my own lane for myself, have my own business and stuff like that. I honestly do not want that. I'm not motivated to be a teacher. I'm not motivated to be a lawyer. It's just not for me. It's not my journey. I feel like that's other people's journey, but not my own. And I feel like for Yinka, she started to realize her journey as well. Like, this is, you know, working at the charity organization. That's what she really wanted to do, because she really loved helping people. And she found herself. And like me, I found myself when I was in college. Like, oh my gosh, like, wow, I really opened my eyes to a lot of possibilities of what I want my future to look like. And, you know, some people have their stuff planned out, but, you know, I don't. I can't do that, like I said. But and also another thing is when Yinka was trying to change her skin tone, trying to change her hair for a man. I think a lot of us, or some of us, have done that, where, you know, to impress a guy, we would get all nice, you know, get our nails done and hair looking different, you know, out of the ordinary, how we usually look on a regular basis, you know, to impress a guy. And I think all of us have done that, or maybe not, maybe some of us. I can't speak for everyone but my own. And I've done that before, where I would alter or try to like put on makeup, and I don't wear a lot of makeup at all. I barely wear makeup, just to let y'all know, keep it 100. I barely wear makeup. Even on my channel, you only may see a few videos where I have makeup on. You know, I rarely wear makeup. And during that time, I was wearing makeup like crazy, even though I was just learning on a fly of how I should do my eyes and stuff like that, mascara, blush, all that good stuff. I was trying to do that to impress a guy. And I realized that I didn't have to do all that. If he cared about me and actually liked me, he would like how I am, who I am as a person, and what I look like on a regular basis, regardless if I have makeup on or not. This is my appearance. You have to accept me, who I am. If you can't do that, then you are not for me. Point blank, period. And so, like I said, I love this book. I loved what it was about. It definitely is inspirational, because, you know, I feel like a lot of us have, or some of us have, some insecurities. And, you know, it deals with a lot of that in this book, as, you know, as Lizzie was inspired by Insecure and Girlfriends. It also deals with family dynamics and, you know, when you have siblings and how you're always fighting and somehow, or you have rivalries, so to speak, of how, you know, one sister felt like they got more attention from their mother, while as opposed to another that they didn't get, you know, it was like that where, I believe one of Yinka's sisters was saying how she was trying to oppress her mom so badly to be noticed, and, you know, that's why she started, you know, having a family and have children in order to be noticed by her mother, as opposed to Yinka, who felt like her mother was badgering her like all the time and didn't get any praise. So I mean, you deal with the miscommunication with siblings and family, and it does happen. It really does. And that's when you have to communicate. And Yinka did end up communicating with her sister, saying that she loves her, and, you know, their mom loves them too. So it not only deals with Yinka, it deals with her relationship with her family and her sisters, and also her friends. And like I said, this book touches on so many topics in one time, and I'm so happy that I read this. Now, I will say that I did some hybrid reading. I listened to the audiobook and follow along with the physical book. So within the audiobook, you actually hear her you know, texting on her phone to her friends or in family about such and such. So you'll hear the text being sent and stuff like that. So it has some good, I love how the sound and stuff like that. I love the audiobook. It was really good. So if you don't have the physical book, I suggest you get the audiobook. It's really, really good. And I like how they did it, especially when she's texting. It felt like you were right beside Yinka. Like, she didn't know you were there, but you were there texting to her friends and family. But like I said, I believe I either gave it a 4 out of 5 stars or 5 out of 5 stars. Either way, this book is good. I highly recommend it if you haven't read this book yet. So yes, and this is also contemporary fiction, if you did not know. But other than that, that is my book review for Yinka, Where's Your Husband by Lizzie, Damilola, Blackburn. I really hope you enjoyed my book review. If you did, please, please, please give me a thumbs up. Also, hit that subscribe button and that bell to be notified when I upload more videos in the future. But thank you so much for watching, you guys. And please stay healthy and stay safe. See ya.